I'm Ruthie Dahle and welcome to my channel and welcome to this video. So I'm cutting my hair, my very own hair. I'm cutting it myself. So let's get right into it. The first thing that you want to do is make sure that your jewelry is off. You do not want to get caught up, like the brush get caught up in it, the scissors, the hair. Just do yourself a favor and jewelry off. So I'm just going to put mine on the bed right here, just so they're out of the way. Then what you're going to need for this, if you're following this and doing it yourself, you're going to need a hairbrush, a comb that divides your hair. So basically that. You're going to need scissors that are not your kitchen scissors. Do not do this with your kitchen scissors, people, okay? You need proper scissors and something with a tip, like a sharp tip. This is not too sharp, it's just right. And you're going to need a towel, because if you're doing it like me, I'm sitting on the floor because I have a full-length mirror hair and I need to see all of my hair to make sure I do it right. And that means anything I cut will end on my lap, and I don't want that. Also, I'm wearing sweatpants just so that I don't accidentally flash you guys, and that makes me feel safe. So I'm wearing a dress and sweatpants. Welcome to 2004, people. Anyway, I have a towel that I don't necessarily care for. It's not my favorite, so it's fine. I make sure that it goes behind my back. Maybe I should get like a clip. I think maybe I should get a clip. Hair clip it is. And I think this is big enough for me to put it right about here and then snug it around. Yeah, I think so. And the reason why I put it up so high is that way when I cut it, most of it, I would say all of it, but most of it, let's be realistic, will end up in my lap where the towel is. And then if you are watching this far and you're like, well, what are we cutting? Well, we're cutting the hair, obviously, but what shape, what style, what are we doing? Well, it's basically the haircut that I have right now. So I do, sometimes I love doing layers, but then if I'm straightening my hair, layers and straightener, they're not friends, okay? So even if I straighten my hair and then curl it, and the layers will look amazing and beautiful and like, whoa. The straightener will fry my ends a lot faster, so I try to stay away from layers just because of that. And I do have front pieces. I don't know if you've thought that they were curtain bangs, but they used to be bangs and then they just became curtain bangs, and then whatever this is. So I'm just gonna let these grow out. I'm not gonna cut them as curtain bangs. I'm just gonna do face framing pieces, I guess, which is basically what I have right now, but they're uneven because I haven't cut my hair in a while. So what are we gonna need? What we're gonna need. Okay, I'm gonna divide my hair in half, exactly the middle. Oh yeah, I never did tell you the hairstyle. It's rounded in the back with face framing pieces. Oh my gosh, I'm so out of it. Anyway, I'm not gonna divide it down the back just yet because I need to brush my hair. And I did something for YouTube. I did something for you guys. I did put hairspray in my hair by the roots to get my ponytail to stay up for, or the flyaways, I guess, for my ponytail to stay away for a video and for some photos. So you're welcome, guys. Do not have any product in your hair except for maybe oil if your hair is really dry. I don't think that will affect it. Also, this is a haircut that is a lot easier to do on straight hair than on curly hair, just because you can see your mistakes a lot easier. Then take the comb, divide it down the middle, but now make sure you divide it down the middle to the back as well. That is not the middle. what you want to do is that, for me, I'm just going to cut my ends. It's not going to be a crazy amount. I think this much hair is going to come off. So it's basically just the ends because I'm letting my hair grow out. But what you need to do in order for this to work is that you need to make sure that you can see already, I think. I don't know if you can see. If you see here, it looks like it's different layers, but this is the front, towards the front of my face, and this is towards the back of my head, and it's longer in the back. So when I bring it front, it looks almost like layers. But what you want to do is make sure that the back of your hair is towards your armpits, and the front of your hair is towards your cleavage, okay? So the microphone battery decided to go bye-bye, good night. So I am doing a voiceover from this point forward, and I do fast forward this 2x speed. And what I do, and you have to make sure that you keep your hair between two fingers. I like to use my index finger and my middle finger to hold my hair in place so it doesn't move about, and you cut underneath your hand to have control over what you're cutting and your hair not moving. I am cutting at an angle because I want it rounded in the back. It ends up being a little bit more angled and rounded in the back than I did last time, but I kind of switch it up depending on my mood. And I show you the difference of how much I cut. I think I cut about 3 centimeters off. That is what I needed for my split ends to go off. I like to go a little bit above my split ends just so that I have healthy hair longer. I feel that works every single time. I did the same when I was at a hairdresser. I always ask them to cut more just so that my hair is 100% healthy. And I like to, after I've cut it, while keeping the hair down, I move it up and I hold it firmly between my fingers to make sure that there are no like strands out of place that I need to cut because I didn't see it from the other angle. So I keep it between my fingers. I lift it up. This is something you can see at the hair salon as well. They are double checking the edge to make sure it is a straight edge. And so I'm just gathering sections at a time, and I'm doing my front piece first, or towards the front first. Sometimes I start in the back if I know there are some split ends in the back that I must get off. Then I start at the back of my hair and I move forward. So which end I start at depends on my needs. Today I started in the front, and I'm bringing section by section, but I'm taking some of the previous section with me into the new section as a guide of where to cut and how to cut, what angle and whatnot. It makes it a lot easier, and as you can see, it's a pretty straight line because I have straight hair right now. It's a blunt cut, but we're gonna go in and soften that up a bit. Also, I'm gonna be curling my hair, so for the next few days it's gonna be fine. I do end up towards the back going more straight ahead than going at an angle, just so that it doesn't become too much of a point in the back and more rounded. And as you can see, the shape, it's taking shape. I do like to go over and seeing if there are any places, like you can see, where I need to correct the angle. I have a few places that I do that, and I like to measure from holding and dragging the fingers with the hair between my fingers and dragging it down and holding it up so that I can see better the angle that I need to cut it at and where I need to cut it at. That side is now done, and you do the exact same thing on the other side, except this time you're measuring your front pieces to see where they start, so that you don't accidentally cut the next side shorter than the first side that you cut. So it's better to start off cutting off less and then cutting more later, so that you don't cut too short right away. I do measure in the front and I see with my eyes how short it should be, and I get it right on the first try, which is pretty good. And I just, because I'm not left-handed, I am cutting now from the bottom and up, so that is before on the left side of my head I cut from my face and down towards my hip, but this time I'm cutting from my hips towards my face at that angle, because I'm not left-handed, and that just works for me. Now I'm doing the sections the same way. I'm starting in the front and then moving towards the back. It's just that the angle is now going from up down towards up instead of up going down, if that even makes sense. These aren't necessarily the sharpest scissors anymore, but they are much better than a kitchen scissors. Trust me, they're much better than that. When you're done doing that, you want to pull from the same part of your hair, like I'm pulling from the back but on the opposite sides of my head from both sides, to see if the pieces are equal length. You can see it better the second time, I think, when I'm pulling the hair. And I noticed that the second side, so my right side, is 1 centimeter longer, so I cut off the other 1 centimeter where it's needed. And what I had was, it needed 1 centimeter in the back and then a little bit towards the center of the hair. So I angled that up to nothing so that the angle is right. And I get it right on the second time. This is why you cut less than you think you need. That way you don't cut too short and then you have to go ahead and fix the other side. It's better to fix the second side while you're already working on it. And I'm pulling my fingers through my hair to see if at the same speed, from the same place, same height, at the same speed, to make sure that the hair are equal lengths. And then you see me cutting where they are not and fixing anything that might be wrong. And at this point, I'm just fixing. I'm not shaping it more than I did before. I've already done the hard work when it comes to creating the shape. Now I'm just fixing and making everything even, pulling the fingers through my hair to make sure they finish at the same time so that it is even. And the next thing that you're going to do is that you're going to leave a pretty large section at the bottom, and you're going to start cutting your hair vertically. It's very important that you cut it up. This is gonna make sure that the ends blend better together, so that if you do have any mistakes, they're not that visible. Every hairdresser I ever been to does this, and it just makes the look more finished and good instead of having like a really super harsh line. This is the solution. Always cut it up vertically. And I grab sections and I just cut. I'm not being precise about where I cut. I just cut. And I do the same on both sides. And I decided to do this before I got up and looked in the mirror to see if it's even. But I think it's important to do it now while the towel is on you and before you fold it up, so that, and while your hair is divided in half at that exact placement. Because once you looked in the mirror to check if everything is okay, the chances of you dividing your hair exactly in half, the exact same way the strands on every single side is the same as before, the chances of that happen is very low. So it's important that you do it now. And then I'm just gonna fold up the towel, making sure the hair doesn't get anywhere on my clothes. I don't care about the floor because you can sweep the floor. I don't want it on my clothes. And then I have a smaller mirror that I will be looking into, and then I will have the back of my head facing the large mirror so that I can see if it looks good. So basically, I just move my hair onto the back of my back, basically. And I look and I see how it is. And then when I get back down, I am now gonna do front face what is it called, face framing pieces. So I get the towel out, but I don't secure it around my waist because I don't need to, because it's the the face framing pieces. I can't say it. And so this time when you're cutting, I want to cut it at an angle, but this one time, because of how you want to cut it, you want to cut it above your fingers, because that is going to hold the tension and slide the scissors at a really good angle. It is obviously easier for me to do this on my left side than on my right, because again, I am right-handed when it comes to scissors. And as you can see, I'm just letting the scissors slide across and making like little cuts, if that is the best way I can describe it. So you basically bring the inner part of the scissors towards your hair, and you're only cutting in that area. You're not using the full length of the scissors. You're just using the inner part to cut, and you're making like micro cut and sliding almost like a knife down on your hair. Again, checking to see the length, making sure everything is alright and everything is the way it should be. And then I am just showing you how it looks like from the front. I'm gonna show you what it looks like from the back in a moment. And this is obviously straight off blunt cut. It will be better in a few days, even after I shower. And by the way, this is I showered the day before or washed my hair the day before, so it's pretty fresh except for having a little bit of hairspray in it. But this is what it looks like. This is how I cut my hair. And with that, I want to say thank you so much for watching. It's not done yet, but I want to thank you so much for watching. And thank you for being here until the very end. See that? Gorgeous. And it's so easy to do. Anybody can do it.